The man who shaped and developed the symphony more than any other was Joseph Haydn. Haydn's long career as a successful musician and composer spanned the entire second half of the 18th century. He was notably generous in his support of younger composers, like Mozart, a close friend who predeceased him, and Beethoven, who was for a time his pupil. The torch Haydn passed on to them was his crucial refining of the form of the symphony. Haydn took the idea of proportion and balance and went one crucial step further. His typical balancing phrase wasn't identical, but slightly different in character. It created a sense of symmetry without simply repeating itself. So in the exquisite slow movement of his 88th Symphony, Haydn's first little phrase of 6 notes goes like this. Its balancing second half takes the same shape but changes the notes, so it feels like it's on a continuing journey. Then a final part, equalling in length the first 2 bits together, rounds off the phrase in a satisfying and ornamented way. This process of taking a little cell of a tune, then building on it to create longer units with more interesting features to them, is what Haydn taught the world to do, apparently effortlessly. The symphony would be nowhere without this skillful moulding of little musical ideas into a much larger structure. Haydn was so adept at this sculpting of a tune from small beginnings that the younger Mozart and Beethoven simply copied his technique. This was the point of a symphony. It was like an essay or an exceptionally long doodle. A song could be just a nice tune, plain and simple. An opera was a series of songs linked with a plot. But symphonies were supposed to be explorations, a journey to find out what would happen if you took a few tunes and mucked about with them. For sure, the symphony is a peculiar thing. 60 musicians simultaneously interpreting instructions given them by one person with no narrative, no plot and no literal meaning, nor is it generally a description of anything. Just 4 loosely related 7 or 8 minute sections of meandering music at slightly different speeds strung together for the thought-provoking fun of it. The odd thing about the symphony at this point in history is that it doesn't have any direct parallels in any other artistic field. It's abstract more than 120 years before the concept became fashionable in visual art.